Okay, let's get right into it. We've got an urgent threat briefing for you today. We're talking about CVE 2025-2393, also known as the Aquashell Zero Day. This isn't a drill. It's an active threat that's being used to completely take over enterprise email gateways, and it needs your immediate attention.
So the first thing you need to absorb is the severity. This thing is a perfect 10.0 on the CBSS scale. I mean, it doesn't get any higher than that. What does that actually mean? It means a total loss of confidentiality, integrity, and availability on any system that gets hit. Game over.
And just to be crystal clear, we are at threat level red. This is not some theoretical problem or a proof of concept cooked up in a lab. Threat actors are out there, right now, actively using this exploit in the wild to get their first foothold into corporate networks.
So what's the deal here? Well, the core of this vulnerability, the really scary part, is that an attacker needs zero credentials. No username, no password, nothing. They can just walk right in and get root-level access, completely owning the device. The technical flaw is in the async OS software, something called improper input validation. In plain English, the system just doesn't check the data it's being sent correctly, which lets an attacker slide in malicious commands.
Okay, that brings us to the most important question for every single defender watching right now. Are you vulnerable? Let's walk through exactly how you can check your exposure. So here's what you need to go check on your Cisco secure email gateways immediately. The good news is, not all deployments are at risk, but you absolutely have to confirm your specific configuration.
For your appliance to be at risk, two specific conditions have to line up perfectly. First, the spam quarantine feature has to be enabled, and second, that quarantine interface has to be exposed to the internet. Now here's the kicker. Spam quarantine isn't even on by default, so this attack is specifically targeting organizations that have non-standard or maybe overly permissive firewall configuration.
And let's be super clear about the scope here. This vulnerability affects on-premise appliances. That means both the physical and the virtual versions of the secure email gateway and the web manager. If you're a cloud customer using Cisco Secure Email Cloud, you can breathe a sigh of relief. You are not affected.
All right, so what if you've checked and, yep, you're exposed? Your next steps are absolutely critical for containment. And I have to stress this, there is no patch available right now, so mitigation is your only move. Let's get into the immediate protocols. These are your non-negotiables. You have to take these three actions right now to stop the bleeding. First, block all internet access to that spam quarantine interface immediately. Second, lock it down with firewall rules so only trusted internal IPs can get to it. And third, if you haven't already, enforce network segmentation. Get your mail handling networks separated from your management networks.
And this is where the news gets tough. If you find any evidence that you've been compromised, you cannot just wait for a patch and apply it. It won't be enough. The attackers have deployed persistence mechanisms that a standard software update just will not remove.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. Cisco's own guidance is explicit. A full scorched earth rebuild from a clean image is the only way to be absolutely certain you've kicked the attackers out and fully reclaimed that system.
So you're probably thinking, wait, why? Why can't I just patch it? What are we dealing with here that's so persistent that I have to do a full rebuild? That's the logical next question.
Well, to get that answer, we have to peel back the curtain and look at the adversary's playbook. The group behind this is being tracked as UAT 9686, and they have links to other China Nexus threat actors. And they're not just using off-the-shelf tools. They have a custom toolkit built just for this operation.
The main reason for that rebuild mandate is a nasty little implant called Aquashell. It's a custom-made backdoor. And here's the clever part. It embeds itself deep inside an existing legitimate web application file. This lets it survive reboots, survive software updates, giving the attackers persistent, long-term control.
And Aquashell isn't working alone. As you can see, these guys have a whole toolkit. They have Aquatunnel for creating covert SSH connections back to their servers. They use Chisel to pivot deeper into your network. And maybe most concerning of all, they have AquaPurge, a tool designed specifically to cover their tracks by wiping log entries.
And just look at how fast this all went down. Exploitation started in late November. Cisco stumbles upon it during a support case on December 10th. By the 17th, it's public, and CISA adds it to their known exploited vulnerabilities catalog. That gave U.S. federal agencies just 1 week, over a holiday, to get this mitigated. That's a brutal timeline.
Okay, so you've battened down the hatches and contained the immediate threat. Now we shift gears. It's time to go hunting.
The mindset here has to be assume breach and start actively looking for evidence of these attackers on your network.
So here's your hunting checklist. Your team needs to be looking for these specific forensic artifacts right now. Check the file integrity of the path you see here. That's a favorite hiding spot for Aquashell. Hunt for any weird Python processes. Keep an eye out for unusual outbound SSH traffic from your email gateways. And scour your web logs for any anomalous HTTP post requests.
Now, this is a really clever and frankly scary part of their playbook. You can't just look for what is there, you have to look for what's missing. If you suddenly find gaps in your logs or incomplete records around the time you suspect activity, that gap is the evidence. That's a huge indicator of compromise, thanks to their AquaPurge tool.
And finally, here are the hard indicators of compromise you can use today. These are the file hashes for the attacker's tools and the command and control IP addresses we know they're using. Take these, plug them into your SIEM, your firewalls, your threat hunting platforms, get them in there immediately.
So as we wrap this up, this whole incident leaves us with a pretty critical question we should all be asking about our own defenses. Remember, this entire campaign hinged on a non-default internet-exposed feature. It's just a powerful reminder to constantly audit our attack surfaces, because sometimes the biggest threats don't break down the door, they just walk through the one we accidentally left open.